Hinge, I want to start on the injuries last year. First of all, can you take us back pretty much 12 months to your first game for the Crows? I imagine you're brimming with excitement, and then it all sort of comes crashing down around you. What are your memories from that day when you look back on it now?
It was a bit of a whirlwind. I was able to play a few of the pracky matches leading up to round one. Probably form wasn't completely ideal, so I started as the super sub or whatever the boys are calling it. But I started off as a sub, so it was obviously very exciting. I mean, to don the Crows colours in some form, and to be around, around the mark was what I was kind of hoping for coming over from Brisbane. It was obviously, I was very excited. I had some of my family there just in case. They're obviously footy fans and Crows fans, but just in case I got on as well, and got on. And it didn't take long before I dislocated my shoulder the first time, and then came on again and dislocated it the second time. And you can only laugh about it now. It was a bit embarrassing at the time, but pretty much gone for surgery a week later, and the rest of the season out. So it started off as a very, very exciting day, and then ended obviously quite disappointing. But we're good now.
What about that process coming back from two shoulder dislocations in a game? It's pretty much taken a year, hasn't it?
Pretty much 12 months, yeah. Yep. So they went a real cautious route. There was probably, they got to us about a stage of 4 to 6 weeks, back end of last year, where if they really, really wanted to try and get me back, they were going to try. But we were probably at the stage as a team where me as an individual and as a club as well weren't really going to gain too much out of rushing me back and playing those last couple of games of the year. So although my goal was probably to always come back and try and get some games later on, and just obviously I just want to play as much footy as I can. It was probably a little bit disappointing, but I look back now and the work I was able to put into my body and put into, I guess, my career, and it's held me into a good stead now. I'm feeling really, really confident in how my body's feeling and how everything else is going. So very exciting for the year to come.
Can you shed a little bit of light, briefly, even on the rehab process, coming back from a shoulder? Like, is there a point where you feel like, okay, now I'm ready to tackle, or was that big mental hurdles, just sort of things like that with the process?
There was obviously, it's quite tough. I think rehabbing the season, although probably as an individual point, it's really good in terms of you're in the club every day. Whether if you have surgery in the off season, you're obviously kind of reporting back a couple of times a week. It's a little bit hit and miss. If you're in rehab in the season, you've obviously got all the physios every day. You're still coming in 5-6 times a week. So that was really, really beneficial. But as well, I came to the club after that 2020 year, the first year of COVID, and only played the one AFL game, and finally get a little taste of it, and then it kind of got taken away from me. So I think that was probably the hardest part to kind of adjust to and understand what the best thing for me was to get my body in the best nick. It's quite tough when obviously all your mates are out playing and you're kind of slugging off by yourself or with one other person just in the gym and running laps. But it was all part of it. I look back now and it's helped me move instead. So that's the only way we can really look forward to coming.
And last one from me, it looks like, you're obviously fully healthy now, but you're cracking in as hard as ever on the weekend with Joey Danaher. Last week we saw you barrel through, I think, Peds at training as well. You're obviously feeling like you're in a pretty good shape to go hard at the footy this year. It's a credit to, I guess, the staff and what they've been able to do for me. I guess all of last year, it's given me real confidence in my body, and we've got, I guess, last year, although it was a bit of a dampener that I couldn't play footy, it was probably a real good opportunity for me to kind of develop my body once again and put myself in a really strong position to, I guess, put my best foot forward. And I feel like I've tried to do that at most cases. And copped a few whacks, copped a big one on the weekend. But I can take confidence out of that. I pulled up really well from it, and onwards and upwards. Thanks, mate.
Matt Turner at the Advertiser.
Hey, Mitch, hope you're going well, mate. Just following on from what Maxie was saying there, what was it actually like to be back out there on the weekend and obviously against your old team as well?
No, it was really, really good fun. Obviously, they had a pretty strong team. They had almost as strong as a team as what they're going to have this year, I think. And obviously, circumstances with us, we had to blood a few younger bodies, but it was really good. It was good for me to kind of help find my feet. And I mean, it's quite fitting that it was against the old boys, and I'm still really close to a lot of them today. So yeah, no, it was good. It was good fun. It was good fun.
Is the role you're playing on the weekend the sort of role that you expect to play this year? I know you're obviously pretty versatile. Is that what we can expect to see you this season across that halfback or thereabouts?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, for me, probably halfback's my number one position. I think that's what kind of suits my game style and my I guess athletic ability type thing. But I mean, that's to know I'll be trying to play on smalls, tools, and then probably even upper ground on the wing and things like that. So that's probably my goals. And I think the more versatile I am, the more likely I'm going to get picked every week. And really that's my main goal to be able to play footy and hopefully contribute towards a win.
Obviously, a little bit of water to go under the bridge still, but do you see yourself as being in the round one side as it stands?
I'd like to say yes. To be honest, I would say. I mean, I'm very well aware of all the work that I've put in, but I mean, the boys, to their credit, the whole group's in like an unbelievable amount of nick. So it's going to be tough. I think right now, as it sits, the ball's completely in my court. If my form holds up and if I can play my role and do everything the coach has asked of me, then absolutely I'll put my hand up for round one. But if I go away from that, then I mean, I've only got myself to blame. So that's what I'm very excited for that to kind of be how the reality is at the moment. That's how I see it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to hopefully running out there this week and put my hand up again.
And just one last one before I pass it around. Just in general, the key takeouts from the weekend from Nixie?
Yeah, there's obviously a few things to work on. As I touched on it, Brisbane were a really, really good side, and we had to, they had pre-season bodies, and we probably had the other end of playing a few younger guys and I guess less experience. So there was a few learnings just in terms of how we want to move the ball, how we want to win back the ball, and I guess cleanness and strength around the contest that we really looked at. So in terms of all that stuff, I think having such good teams to come up against, so Brisbane first of all, and then Port Adelaide this week, I think we're going to be really, really well primed for round one and hopefully learn as much as we can off these two teams.
No worries. Happy to pass it around. Thanks.
Yeah, Theo at 7.
Thank you, Reece. Hello, Mitch. I was just hoping to get your thoughts on that Danaher moment when you see the seas part and 120 kilos and 6'7" run straight at you. Is there a moment of realisation? Well, this is it. Time to test it out.
I mean, nah. To be honest, it didn't really roll through my head in terms of my shoulder or how my body's going. As I touched on, I've been really, really confident in how my body's feeling and all the work that I put in. I trust the guys that I worked in really closely last year. So, I mean, it was a good tester, I guess. I can take all confidence out of it. But to be honest, nothing really popped through my head as other than I'm just going to have to stand here and just cop the full brunt of Joey's body.
You put any normal person in that situation and they run the other way. What does it say about how far you've come? And not that you wouldn't have done it before, but coming off an injury like that now, it's almost second nature to you to go into a tackle. What does it say about your mental side of things?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think Nixie's pretty clear with how he wants us to play and how and what it's going to take to kind of be picked every week. It's not all about touches and possessions and kicks and marks. It's more about what your teammates expect on you and what you're willing to do kind of help your side. I help the boys win each week. So to be honest, as I've touched on it, I want to play as much footy as possible, and there would have been, I mean, every one of the boys would have done the same thing in my position. So although he looked good, and that it was me in that particular spot, I don't think too many blokes would be doing anything different, to be honest.
Does the unfortunate situation of Seed and the little niggle for Geordie, does that open the door for you a bit more, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it gives me an opportunity to play a little bit of wing and show my versatility. I mean, to be honest, I never really play or kind of hope on other players' downfall. I mean, they're both good mates of mine, and I know it's a way of the industry a little bit, but it is sad to kind of see how Sido's going, and then obviously Geordie's just got a little bit of lingering. That should be right for round one, but it does give me a really good opportunity to put my hand up to play a little bit of wing time and go well in that position. So that's how I'm kind of looking at it the moment, and yeah, really excited about the opportunity that arises.
Lastly, mate, do you just needle John and say, I've got a few more opportunities to get a few AFL games under my belt than you, big brother?
Well, I can't say anything just yet. So, I mean, I thought I might be able to say that last year, but we all know what happened last year. I got half a game in, and there was no more. So, I'll get myself locked in the team, and then I'll play a few more and play some consistent footy, and then I might start shaping up to him. We'll wait and see.
Good on you, mate. Good luck. Thank you.
Over to Channel 9 if you got any questions.
Hinge, yeah, just one quickly, mate. Just wanted to know if there's sort of any sort of senior players this off-season you've sort of been picking their brain and sort of asking for sort of advice about sort of the upcoming season, or anything you specifically want to work on in your game as well.
I mean, there's always some senior heads to turn to, and we're really fortunate at this footy club to have some really, really big names and really successful kind of individual footy careers. I mean, you obviously know like Sloaney, Tex, Smithy, Brownie, even on the half back line. All these boys, I think you look at the way they kind of go about it. I've moved in with Ben Keys, and he seemed to turn his career around, and I'm hoping to do the same with that. And look at Riley O'Brien and the things he does around the club and what he does for everyone. I think there's definitely no shortage of quality individuals here, and there's always someone to lean on and get a bit of feedback or ask the question. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate to kind of be in the position I am and lean on all these boys, and there's always somewhere to go. So, yeah, probably not so more individuals, more so going around to all different types and always picking their brains. I think that's the best thing to do if you kind of want to take your game to the next level.
Perfect. That's all from me. Thank you.
Any last ones for Hingy before we wrap up?
I'll ask one more. Hingy, what have you seen from Dorse on this calf soreness? What was it? Did it happen in a game, pull up sore, just didn't train one day? What have you seen?
No, I think he just pulled up a little bit sore after training, and it's just lingered a little bit. I don't think they're not too worried about it at all. I think he's been able to get some reps in. He did some running yesterday on Monday and did a little bit more today. So as far as I know, it's all tracking pretty healthily. He's just I guess there's no real reason to risk it this week, and we'll freshen him up. He's a very quality person, and he gets himself in. He's in incredible nick. So I don't think he's going to be held back at all by having a couple of weeks off. So he'll be very primed for round one, I think, and very exciting times this season, I reckon, for him. People are going to be. He's got high hopes about him, but I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised with what he brings. He's an exceptional player.